Hey guys, I'm going to be doing just kind of a quick guide on Gear Aid 319. Um, this is definitely the most important Gear Aid in the game, having Soulbound Arcana and Infernal Roar, and I know it's a very difficult one, especially without Luneria, and with not a lot of legendary options like Silas or Hatsa or Alora, that sort of thing. So, I'm just going to go over the easiest way to do this, at least that I'm able to do. I tried doing it without arrogance. Arrogance is the only legendary and not free unit, at least in my opinion, because I consider epics free units. Arrogance is the only one I wasn't able to sub out, because I just couldn't do it without one legendary option. If I level Theowin or Tazira to 6 stars, I might be able to, but I'm not going to if there's not a quarter event that I haven't finished yet. Um, so bear with me here. In the future, I will have an epic only guide and Volka A1. I'll go over the gear at the end, but here we are. As you can see, you gotta ult at the beginning, place down Idril first, so that you can build her ult up, so that you can clear these mobs. You have to make sure that Idril has enough HP in order to live one of the hits from that first mob, or you gotta have someone on the left where I put Brienne, who does more damage. You could, if you have a legendary option, like I beat this with Silas originally. There's a video you can find of my first time clearing this stage, where I use Silas, and I put him where I put Brienne. But if you're just using Brienne, you can pull her back immediately. I tried doing this with Cuke, but it didn't really work, unfortunately. Anyways, as you can see, we're gonna Laurel cycle our ults a little bit. We've used Laurel twice already. That's why we have Volka A1. And arrogance, I like having arrogance instead of someone like Silas or like Setram, anyone that you would put in the middle, just for a little bit of extra damage. I like putting arrogance just because he will also soak up some of the damage from the mobs. But if you don't use them, you could use something like Volka. Anyways, as you could see, if you use a Lucas and you use Brienne paired with Dolores, you can actually clear the trio. And Idril does fine with the solo guy. If you have Mari, you can actually just have Brienne kill them as well with the Dolores ult too, but it's a bit rocky, and I don't like doing it that way anymore. Anyways, as you can see, we're doing just fine, killing the boss. Arrogance is pretty good. His gear is really terrible. I tried to make the gear as accessible as possible for this kind of guide. It's kind of a mini guide. It's more just me commentating over my gameplay because it was way too hard to do an actual guide for. Anyways, as you can see, I'm cycling Brienne out. I'm just using ults. You gotta keep in mind that Idril's ults, I mean Idril's like normal hits, they get a lot more powerful when anyone on your team uses their ultimate. So you gotta make sure you're doing that. And just using a Lucas when there's 3 of them, Dolores when you can, and Brienne ult to clear them. And that's about it. Just go back and look at the little things if you would like. I am hoping to have more of a guide where it's a bit more informative and detailed in the future when I'm able to do it with Cuke. For boss damage, I just wasn't able to. I was struggling a bit, so I decided not to. Because my gear on my Idril is so bad that I just wasn't able to do it. But anyways, look over the gear here now. I'm just gonna talk about the builds and why they're like that. Ein, you could put Invig. You could give Invig to Idril if you're not using Laurel with Invig, but you do want to use Laurel with Invig, so that Idril gets Invig. As you can see, very bad attack speed, but the raw stats are fine. Crit rate's a bit low, but I figured it was fine. Obviously the stats are decent, but it's whatever. Idril's gaze is very important. You need to have it maxed out for the 40% damage, like defense ignoring. And then you really, really need to have Idril A5 for this, so that whenever she gets a kill, she gets extended ult. That's super, super, super important. You have to have that. And then Brienne, she has very good stats, just raw stats. You want to do stats over sets. If you don't have gear like this, or the legendary options, you just can't do much. I also slapped a random artifact on her. Volka didn't get placed, she doesn't matter. I do have her in Vivig, but whatever. Arrogance has decent raw stats, and Wailing Skull did literally nothing the entire time. Laurel, I do like having her with Invig. Her stats do not matter. You can ignore the stats that I have. But you also need her promotion 5 for this. When you pull her, she gives rage regen. And when your ultimates are activated, she can give that too. Dolores, you just want high attack. That's all that matters. As you can see, I swapped out my Invig piece for that, just so that I didn't actually have an Invig set on her, just to make it a bit more replicatable. But I'm just going to swap it back here, as you can see. Also for artifacts, you really want to have oh, sorry. You also need her Awaken 1. You should always have your Dolores Awaken 1. Keen Wisdom is the best artifact for her. It's very easy to build to max. Maul has decent stats, but they're nothing too special. You don't need this high stats, as you saw in my run. I wasn't struggling, and Sharpshooter's Crest is the best for him. Lucas, you don't need anything but a maxed ult, just so that he instantly ultimates. That's very important. And then Hollow, I also swapped out my Invig. You don't need this good gear on her, you just want to have higher rage regen, ideally lower attack and high attack speed, and Tumultuous Horn really helps with the beginning, just so you can trigger your ult very fast. But anyways, that's about it. Hopefully this is helpful at all. I should be having a slightly better guide with only epics and Volka A1. Sometime in the future when I'm actually able to. I might have to juice up my idril a bit better, but yeah. Anyways, that's about it from me. Hope this helped. Bye bye.